It is Sunday, October 5th, 2020, and on this week's edition of Sunday Sofatime, we're talking about cruise ships I was just on, a cruise ship I'm gonna be on soon, some details that I forgot to mention, and getting tested for It's October, everybody. October. What has this year been like? It's been crazy. That's what it's been. Here in Northern Europe, in most of Europe, things are relaxing, getting somewhat back to normal. And if you haven't been around here on the very unofficial travel guides in a while, I've actually done 2 cruises.
Right?
I know not too long ago I was sitting here in front of the red sofa saying that there was no way I was going to be on a cruise, or that I wasn't planning on being on a cruise until January of next year. But that was when I was thinking about like flying to Florida and getting on a ship, you know, from Miami or something. What I never really thought about was the possibility of cruising over here. Duh, right? Another factor in the whole thing is the ships that are cruising or that are sailing over here now. Most of them aren't ships that I think any of you who are watching this in an English-speaking country are going to ever cruise on, or I thought be interested in seeing. But 2 cruises later, and the numbers on my YouTube channel look like this. So, I get it. Even though most of you won't be cruising with a MeinSchiff, it's still interesting to you to see what cruising is like at the moment, and I'm having a really good time showing you. So to catch you up in case, like I said, you haven't been here in a while, like 4 or 5 weeks ago, I cruised with the Tui MeinSchiff 2, a very big, very new, not even 2 years old cruise ship. We left from Hamburg, my home city here, which was fantastic, cruised up the Elbe River, up the coast of Denmark. Denmark, that's how you say it in German. Everybody else says Denmark. Cruised through these really cool rocky islands into the port of Stockholm, turned around, waved to the people on the MeinSchiff 1, the sister ship of the 2. Then we went back up the coast of Sweden, up the coast of Finland to Turku to see the shipyard where the Mardi Gras is being built, Carnival Mardi Gras. And then we cruised all the way back down, went under an enormous bridge, and disembarked a couple days later back here in Hamburg. That was the first cruise I did after the lockdown. Fast forward about, what, 10 days later? And Marcus and I were back on a Tui MeinSchiff, the Tui MeinSchiff 1, the sister ship of the ship that I had just cruised on like a week and a half previous to that. And in the first video of the new series, I talked about how we ended up on that ship. And I have to confess something. When I was laying down drunk in bed that night and decided to tell you all the details, I mixed them up. And it wasn't until I was sitting down editing it together that I was like,
that's not exactly how it happened, Drunk Morgan.
So today I wanted to tell you in a shortened version, the events leading up to us basically taking the same cruise again and what we could have and would have liked to do instead. But before I get to that, please forgive me for putting a little commercial break right here. Did you get one? What was it about? Write it in the comments below. All right, a lot of the details that Drunk Morgan said in that first video from our fantastic suite on the MeinSchiff 1 were correct. But there are some things missing and the order isn't necessarily right. So Marcus is still working his 9-to-5 job and has, you know, like a set schedule. And when he wants to take vacation, he needs to put in for time off and get it approved. Even though he's very high on the ladder, he still can't just say, okay, next week, I'm not gonna be here. We get a lot of vacation days in Germany, and you have to use them in a year or basically they disappear. It's not necessarily easy to say, well, I didn't take those 2 weeks of vacation, so I'm gonna, you know, just use them sometime next year. He has like 10 days of vacation that he still needed to use from this year because it's not like we were using them, you know, in the last half a year, basically. And he really wanted to go on a cruise as well. And things moved really quickly. The first cruise that I got the opportunity to join, you guys know how that happened. I found out like on Thursday that I was getting on the ship on Friday. It happened really quickly. There was no way that Marcus was going to be able to join me on that cruise. But from that moment, we started planning when we would be able to cruise together so Marcus could use up this vacation and so I would have another opportunity to make more videos. And the first cruise that we were actually looking at was the MSC cruise around Italy, because, you know, I had just booked a MeinSchiff and Marcus had also cruised with the MeinSchiff too. He just thought, and we thought, it would be much more interesting and exciting for us to cruise on a ship that neither of us had seen before, the MSC Grandiosa. So that was actually the original plan that we had. And like Drunk Morgan said in the video, the reason that we didn't end up booking that cruise originally was because the cruise line said, sorry, with your American passport, we wouldn't be allowed to welcome you on the ship. It's only people from the Schengen area of the European Union. And I have a German green card, but I have an American passport. So that was what made it complicated, even though that with my German green card, that was basically my ticket onto the other cruises that I've done. They said, sorry, no, not gonna work out this time. And this is maybe 3 weeks before we wanted to set sail, before Marcus's vacation began, actually. So time is ticking. I mean, from the moment that cruising opened up here in Europe again, things have been moving very quickly. So the next thing we did was look at, okay, well, what other interesting possibilities are there? And there were two. Well, actually, basically only one when you look at it from our perspective. And that would be to cruise with the MeinSchiff 6, which is very similar to the ship that I was just on and that Marcus was on last year, but it was in Greece. So cruising around, a cruise to nowhere, but around the Greek islands. It sounds sunny, it sounds like blue turquoise water, and I actually thought, you know what, this is probably even more interesting just because the scenery is gonna be so amazing. And Marcus actually got really excited for it too. So like Drunk Morgan said in the video from the bed, we put in a request. You know, we went to the website and filled out the booking information and sent it. And, you know, usually what happens is later that day, you either get a confirmation that you're booked or you at least get a mail saying, we've received your request and we will contact you, or, you know, you will be confirmed in the next 24 hours or whatever. And I think we filled this out, like Drunk Morgan said, either on a Thursday or a Friday, and nothing happened. And then it was Saturday and nothing happened. And then on Sunday, nothing ever happens in Germany. Most things, you know, like that are closed. And so Monday afternoon, I decided, okay, you know what? I need some information. And I managed to connect to somebody working in the Tui MeinSchiff, you know, like travel agency. And I was like, what's up? Are we gonna get on this cruise or not? And they said that they never got a request from us, even though, like I said, we filled it out officially on the website and sent it in. And so that was weird. And like Drunk Morgan said, I said, okay, well, that's weird that you never got it, but now that I've got you on the phone, let's book it. And then she said, well, unfortunately, you can only book this Greece cruise with like a certain flight. So TUI also has a small airline. So as part of, or as a stipulation to this Greek cruise, you needed to fly with one of the TUI flights leaving, you know, certain cities and flying directly to this airport. And she said, we still have cabins on the ship, but we don't have any places left on the plane. So unfortunately, you won't be able to cruise now. And I was like, well, you know what? I bet last week when I sent the request that you apparently didn't get, I bet there was still flights, and now screwed. So I, once again, had to tell Marcus, sorry, it's not gonna work out. We're not gonna be able to do that cruise either. And because we were both really set on cruising, the only option left for us basically was another cruise to nowhere up here in Northern Europe with the MeinSchiff 1, which is more or less the exact same ship that I was just on a couple weeks ago and that Marcus was on last summer. And I really enjoyed that cruise. And there were a lot of things that when it was over, I thought, okay, when I do this again, I want to look for this, or I want to, you know, make sure I'm on this side at this moment. And so I was cool with doing it again. It was just that when you compare it to the other options that we were trying to make happen, you kind of have to admit that that's a little bit disappointing. Of the options, it was, because of the circumstances, definitely the least interesting. So hold on a second. I'm getting to a very important detail that Drunk Morgan forgot about. Like I said in the video, Marcus's company has like a partnership with a special travel agency, and sometimes they get really good deals for things like cruises. So we looked at that website, and there was a deal for this cruise, so we ended up getting a pretty good discount on a normal balcony cabin, and we agreed that when we got onto the ship, we would see if we could get an upgrade, which, as you know now, worked out amazingly, and I'm really looking forward to getting my cabin tour or my suite tour online in a few weeks, so you'll see it soon. But just like last time, we went to the website then and filled out the information and put in our discount code and all that, and that worked out really well. We got confirmation then later that day, but like Drunk Morgan said, at the moment I put in our confirmation to pay for this cruise, which was, like a week later, so no possibilities to cancel it, way too last minute. Literally in the moment that I pressed confirm, my mailbox went bing, and I was like,
oh, well, that was quick. I already got, the details or whatever.
But what it was not the details from the cruise I just paid for and confirmed. It was 2 mails. One from MSC saying, oh, we made a mistake. You could cruise on the Grandiosa. Are you still interested? Let's book it. And the other one was from an external agency that I had sent a request for, thinking maybe they have some flights reserved, like put to the side for this. And so when I found out a couple days prior that we couldn't book directly with Tui because they didn't have any flight places left, I immediately went to like an external cruise agency called Ehoy, thinking, okay, well, maybe they have, like a block of flights reserved. Maybe they can get us on the ship. And that was the other mail that came, the answer from them saying, yeah, of course, we can book you. Just fill out this form and we'll send you the confirmation. And I was like, like I said, I don't want to seem like ungrateful. I'm not complaining about the cruise that we did because it turned out to be really amazing, but I'm just saying the things that we originally wanted to do, it was like, nope, not going to work. Nope, not going to work. Okay, well then we'll do this. And then as soon as we decided to do this, it was like, gonna work, gonna work. And then something else happened that, like I said, Drunk Morgan forgot to tell you. And that is, it's something that so rarely happens to me. I was contacted by one of the major theme parks here in Europe. I mean, they wrote to me asking me to come and be part of the opening of a whole new land and a whole new roller coaster. And they were gonna pay for food and a hotel, brand new hotel. Nobody stayed in it yet either. And it was like a whole weekend of fun that was offered to me. And as I've mentioned before, usually that doesn't happen. I usually pay for everything and just show up there, just like everybody else. And you wanna know when it was? Of course, it was during the cruise. So, couldn't go. It was actually just last weekend, and it's Phantasialand and their new amazing looking roller coaster and their amazing looking hotel themed like a blimp. It's very steampunk. It looks really great, and I hope to get the chance to go there again soon anyways. But I was just like, okay, how many complications can happen involving 1 week of possible travel? And now I'm sure a lot of you are interested in the corona test. When I did my first cruise with MeinSchiff, we did not have to do a corona test. There were other things that we had to do, and those are all still in place with the very detailed health form and then the temperature checks in the harbor and then every day on the ship, but there was no corona test. But that's changed now. So anybody getting on any cruise ship here in Europe now must be tested for corona. And we had to do it a couple days before boarding the ship because with TUI, they want to know before you get on the ship if you have corona. Makes sense. And I just wanted to share my experience, what it was like for me. So if any of you have to do it, you kind of know what it will be like. And this was just my experience. And I'm sure that there is a wide spectrum of feelings about what this is like. But before I tell you exactly what it was like, please forgive me for putting one more little commercial break right here. There's a list of clinics that we got from the cruise line that were clinics that we could go to without an appointment during certain times and bring a form that they sent us and just show it, and then we would get tested for you know what. And we showed up at the clinic here in Hamburg, and it was a nice sunny day. But what was interesting about it is, like, we didn't even get to go inside the clinic. They had literally a window on the side of it opened up, and we had to stand in front of this window, and basically somebody in a full, gown with face mask and double face mask and glasses and then a plastic thing was peeking his head out the window doing this test. We never went actually inside. And at least at this clinic, they swabbed the inside of our sinuses and the back of our throat. And it was in that order. So it was first nose and then throat, which is gross. I mean, I know that what the stuff in our sinuses is going down the back of my throat anyways, but I just don't want something that's been in my nose in my mouth. That's gross to me. Am I weird? I mean, I know I'm weird because of a whole bunch of other things, but am I also weird because of that? And I've watched videos of other people getting tested all over the world for this, and a lot of times this swab that they use is really thin at the front. And that seems better to me because this swab was thick.
It was thick.
I want to say it was like, it felt like it was like as big as my pinky at the end. And that's fine for the back of my throat, but like he really needed to use some force to get it past this part of my nose and up into there where it needs to be. And for me, that was the most painful part. I really don't have much of a problem with things going in my nose or to the back of my throat. I mean, I've been, tested for strep and all that kind of stuff before. I know what that's like. And actually, I've had 2 surgeries on the inside of my nose because of it being too small up here and me not being able to breathe. So it's not fun. And as somebody recently wrote in the comments, it feels like if you jump into like a pool with like chlorine and the water really shoots up your nose and then it burns after that, that's what it felt like. Like I said, once he got it up there where it needed to be, then it just was like burning. And then I was surprised because I didn't think that poking the back of my throat was gonna make me gag as much as it did, but here's the evidence. Trigger warning, you're gonna see me get tested for corona here. So if it's gonna gross you out to see them ramming something up my nose and into the back of my throat, don't worry, I'll tell you when to look away, and it's now.
Ja, das ist jetzt hier unangenehm. Genau. Ja. Also ein bisschen zu mir hingucken. Ja, genau. Da kann man nämlich dann besser rein. Okay, alles klar. Das war's? Ja. Tschüss. Danke.
So that's what it was like. I mean, it's like, maybe took 20 seconds and then it's over. It's not like something I would love to do every day just for fun, but I would gladly do it again if it meant I could get on another cruise. And here we come to the next subject. I'm not gonna beat around the bush and make this a big mystery like I have on the past 2 cruises. If you've watched the video this long, then you will be one of the first to know that I will be on a cruise. Actually, today's Saturday. I'm filming this on Saturday. It's going online tomorrow on Sunday, and I'm flying on Monday to Naples, Italy, where on Tuesday, if everything goes well, I will finally be boarding the MSC Grandiosa. After I thought we were going to be cruising with the Grandiosa, I got so excited about it, and then when it didn't work out, I was very disappointed. And then when I found out, okay, well, it would be a possibility, of course, I'm still disappointed that now I'm going to be cruising without Marcus, and he was really excited about the ship and this cruise. But as I mentioned in my new intro that I put together at the beginning of this year, I set out to do as much traveling as I could, and then you guys know what happened. And so I'm catching up now, and basically now I'm just doing what I was hoping I was going to be doing for most of the year anyways. At the moment, I'm booked on the Grandiosa in a standard balcony cabin, but I managed to get an aft balcony, which means it's on the very back of the ship, and it's one on the corner, so I'm really interested to see what that's like. I've been toying with the idea of trying to get an upgrade again, like we did on the MeinSchiff just last week or 2 weeks ago, but I looked at the level of suites that MSC offers, and none of them seem really so, like special. They just, basically they seem like bigger, normal rooms. And of course, it would be nice to have more space, but you know, like if you look at the suites that are offered on Royal Caribbean or now on MeinSchiff, they're like really different. You know, they're like wraparound or 2 levels and stuff like that. And on MSC, at least from what I could see, which would be anywhere close to what I could afford, it just looked like a bigger balcony cabin. And so I'm thinking I might just stick with the cabin I have. But you'll find out in a couple weeks, or actually maybe you'll find out next week because I'll be posting about it on Facebook and Instagram. And that's my update. That's what's coming up here on the Very Unofficial Travel Guides in the next couple of months. After my first cruise with MeinSchiff, I was really keen on getting all the videos online as fast as I could because I know how starving everybody is to see cruising again and to find out what cruising is like. And now that I've got all those online, I'm gonna slow down again a little bit. So I have a little bit more time to put a little bit more effort into the videos. And it'll give you like a little bit more to look forward to, I guess, to know that for now, the next several weeks or several months, at least every week, there's gonna be a new cruise video going online, at least on this channel. And I love hearing your feedback, and I'm trying every time to look for new ways to make it entertaining and educational, and also to give you little moments to sort of help you feel like you're kind of there, you know what I mean? So I hope it's working, and I hope that you're enjoying this stuff, and I'm really doing my best to give you everything I can. And now comes the time on Sunday Sofatime where I comment on your comments live on air. By the way, before I get to the comments, I just want to mention that I still have Disneyland Paris and other German theme park videos coming up from my summer of road trips that I started. And I'm looking forward to those as well, but it just seems like way more people are hungry for cruise videos right now. So I'm gonna get all those online before I go back to the Disneyland and theme park videos. The first comment, well actually the last time I sat down here in front of the red sofa was over a month ago. Hey everybody, it's Morgan from the future here. I'm just editing this together and I realized that that's not true. I did do another Sunday Sofatime after the first cruise talking about 5 things that I think are better about cruising now, but I don't know, I missed that video, so this is the one we're talking about today. Sorry. And in that video, what I did is I sat down and I watched an older video of mine from when we visited St. Kitts on another cruise, and these comments are on that video. The first one is from Charles Hargett. Charles writes, are there any nude beaches you can go frolicking about on in the Caribbean? And the answer is yes. I know of one specifically that I visited actually twice, and that's Orient Beach, and actually that area got totally slammed in that hurricane a couple years ago, and there used to be a huge, like a total nudist resort on the beach, and I've read recently that that's like closed and will most likely never open again. So very devastating, but that end of that beach is still reserved for nudists, and I know that people still go there. And I'm sure that there's other nudist beaches in the Caribbean, but I don't know where they are. If you're really into the nudist lifestyle, I know that there are nudist resorts in Florida, and here in Europe, there are nudist areas at so many beaches, especially also, I think there's a big nudist culture in Croatia too, so just some more information for you, Charles. Next comment is from Psych Girl Raven. She writes, 81 degrees is a heat wave. What is it normally? When I made this video, like a month and a half ago, it just was unseasonably warm for this area. So usually at the end of September or the beginning of September, it's already down like in the low 70s, high 60s maybe, but we were having some amazing weather. She wrote then, it's 113 here. I would give anything to frolic in the ocean with an adult beverage in hand, which is what I was doing in that video. No relief from the heat in sight anytime soon. Well, Psycho Raven, I know you're probably watching this, so let me know, has it cooled down where you are? I hope so. It's definitely cooled down here. It is dark and stormy, and it's probably like 52 degrees outside, so I'm really looking forward to being in the Mediterranean next week. That is gonna be great, and if I could send some warm Mediterranean sun to all of you, somehow I would. Final comment is from David Tavacoli, and he says, you're aging so well. It's nice to see a man get better looking as he gets older, and First of all, thank you so much. That kind of stuff makes me feel so good. I really try to read every comment I get, and if it's a relevant question, then I try to answer it in some form. And, you know, sometimes it just feels good to read things like that too. So thank you so much. I'm glad to hear that my gray beard and my dad body appeals to somebody. The next video that you'll see here on the Very Unofficial Travel Guides is a video from my last cruise on the MeinSchiff 1 in that fantastic, amazing, once-in-a-lifetime suite with Marcus together. And those are gonna be the videos coming up in the next few weeks before you see the videos from the Grandiosa, which I will be on next week. It is kind of confusing, isn't it? But if you want to see like live updates of the Grandiosa, then make sure you follow me on Instagram and on Facebook. That's where I post like pictures of what's happening right now. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend. There won't be a Sunday Sofatime next Sunday because I'll be on the Grandiosa, but there will be some video going online. And I look forward to seeing you here again soon. Bye-bye.